Yeah, I mean, it was a tough day out there. The greens got really tough to putt there towards the end, and it was a challenging day. You know, I was starting 4 shots back, but got myself into the tournament pretty quickly there on the front 9, and did a lot of good stuff out there. Would have liked to have a few less mistakes, but overall, I mean, great battle all the way through. Did a good job of staying patient and executing when we needed to.
All right, we'll go straight into questions, and we'll start with Doug. If you have a question, put your hand up, and we'll get you a mic.
How did you play that chip on 17? What did you see? What were you trying to do, and what would you have been happy with? Realistically,
I mean, I missed it on the correct side. I think that's most important. It was a chip that we practiced, and I knew how fast it was, and basically it was just trying to get it on the green. And it's kind of a bowl pin back there to where everything kind of funnels towards it. And I knew it was just going to be really fast. So I'd do my best to get it down there and give myself a good look for par. And when it came out how we wanted it to, and then it started breaking and started looking better and better. And yeah, it was definitely nice to see that one go in.
Scottie, the course went under major renovations since 2021. Can you talk through the changes and how you felt it played?
Yeah, well, I think it definitely played more difficult this week than it did a few years ago. Greens definitely had a lot of pitch to them. Yeah, I mean, the golf course changed significantly, and I think they tried to make it more difficult, which I mean, obviously, I think the winning score this year was much different than it was a few years ago, and I think they accomplished their mission in that sense.
We'll go in the middle here.
And Scottie, on 17, to have a moment like that, and you're still so close to it, it wasn't long ago, but that's one of those iconic, like, oh my gosh, like long-term kind of memories happening in a moment. Do you sense that, feel that? Do you know that when it's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was an important shot in the golf tournament. You know, Bob made a nice birdie there on 16, and I mean, I knew it was going to be a battle all the way till the end. I mean, starting the day 4 shots back, Bob had made some mistakes early in the round, but I knew he wasn't going to make many more as the day went on, and he did a good job of battling all day, without his best stuff. And when that chip goes in, it's a pretty cool shot, but the job's not nearly finished after that. Bob could just as easily chip his in, and you don't know what's going to happen, so got to stay focused, and did a good job hitting the fairway and the green there on 18, and give myself a pretty stress-free par.
Go Paul.
Scottie, obviously you have Cromie on the bag. I know Ted's obviously where he needs to be, but weird to not have Ted in kind of those big moments and down the stretch like he's always been the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely different for sure. But Cromie was doing a great job. He's a guy that I can trust. He's one of Ted's good buddies, and yeah, I just say it's pretty much as simple as that. Cromie's a guy that works hard. He does his prep work, and he was an easy guy for me to trust out there. And I felt like we did a good job of talking through our shots and staying patient and keep doing the right things, even when things were looking a little bit squirrely there on the back 9. We did a good job of staying focused and continue to hit shots at the right targets and close the tournament out nicely.
I feel like you guys talked any less than you would with Ted, or did it feel similar in the cadence and how often you were going there?
I mean, that's something I'll have to reflect on later, but I mean, overall, I'm not a guy that talks a ton out there on the golf course, and Cromie, I think, does a really good job of being really even keel. He's not a guy that's going to overreact to anything, and he did a really good job of just staying even keel all week and kind of impervious to the pressure of a final round, and he did a really good job.
And lastly, Mark just said 18 wins. Does that sound like a lot to you? It sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a nice stretch the last few years, and I've done some really good things, and it's nice to get the results from a lot of hard work. But that's not something I think about day to day. I try to approach everything week by week, and when you really boil down to it, just day by day. And this week was a good week. It was a battle all the way through, and fortunate to be sitting here.
Take one on the right here.
Scottie, you said yesterday that you weren't really happy with your ball striking and the chances you were giving yourself. Did you feel like you did a better job of that today? It seemed like you gave yourself a lot of looks, especially in those first 11 holes.
Yeah, I definitely was sharper with the irons today. And in this game, you're always looking for a little bit more out of yourself, pretty much at all times. And so I can think of a few that I wish I would have hit a little sharper. But I mean, I hit some really nice shots into really good wedge into 7, good shot into 8. Good wedge into 11. I mean, probably outside of the chip in on 17 shot of the day was probably on 15 coming out of that bunker. I mean, that was a really important shot in the tournament, one that I think will fly a little bit under the radar. But Bob I just made a sloppy 3-putt on the hole before to kind of let Bob back into the tournament. kind of brought my lead only back down to 1, and all of a sudden he hits it in there about 7 feet on 15. It's it's a golf tournament now, and I stepped up there and hit it inside him to about 6.5 feet and was able to hold that putt. And I mean, I can't tell you how difficult it was to putt these greens late in the day. I mean, there was obviously with it being bent grass greens, there gets to be a few spike marks, and they got really fast out there, and there's a lot of slope, and so they were pretty challenging to putt.
Come over this side.
Hey, Scottie, congratulations. Bob bogeys the first 2, you birdie the first 1, and then after 5, you're kind of in control there. Do you have an awareness that he's a little bit on the back foot and you have an opportunity to take advantage, or is it still more about executing your game?
Well, I mean, it's always about executing my game, but I knew I needed to get off to a good start today, and Bob gave me a couple gifts there early in the round, and all of a sudden I went from being 4 back to standing on the 3rd tee. I'm only 1 back, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, it's game on now. No more cushy lead. It's time to go get it. And we did some good things there on the front 9, and then kept him at bay there on the back 9. I knew Bob's a great player. I knew him making some mistakes early. He wasn't going to continue to do that all day. He was going to fight and claw his way back, which he did. And he should be proud of the fight that he had this week. And it was a good battle out there.
Hey, Doug, go ahead.
It looked. Oh, by the way. What club did you hit on 15? What was that out of the bunker?
15?
Yeah.
8-iron.
8. It looked like you were on the verge of, as well as you were hitting the ball from, like 6 through about 14 or 15, it looked like you were on the verge of pulling away and didn't kind of let Bob stay in it. I'm curious if you sense that. I don't imagine it happens to you a lot, but how do you talk yourself through it when you're not getting as much out of the round as you could, and you're making it maybe tighter than it could be?
Yeah, I mean, that's always frustrating when the rounds get – there's a storm. It's always frustrating when you're not getting as much out of the round as I would hope, but I was putting myself in position, doing the right things. I didn't really feel like I was doing a lot of stuff wrong. It was just very challenging out there, and I knew if I continued to execute and stay patient that things were eventually going to go my way, and really it all just boils down to execution. I think sometimes throughout the course of a round like that, if you're not getting the most out of it, it can be frustrating, and then things can kind of snowball from there. But did a good job of staying patient and executing when it really mattered.
We got time for one more. We have to wrap this up.
Would you like to see Caves Valley be part of the permanent rotation for the BMW Championship?
I mean, obviously I have good memories here, and it was a lot of fun this week. But those decisions aren't really up to me.
All right, thank you. We got to wrap it up. Storm.
Great.